Here we are again, Alex from Scale Swimming and Markus Marthaler. Today we're gonna have a couple of topics and we can discuss about it. We most likely touched bases on these topics already before, and now we just want to point it out again as a smart or as a nice kind reminder, and we try to be we try to do it again, or like to get more information about it again. One thing which has been always asked by a lot of people, what is the correct breathing pattern? I know we had it already, and it's also in the myth busting sections. So breathing pattern, what comes to your mind, Alex?
Okay, yeah, good. What comes to my mind is there is no correct breathing pattern. It depends on the distance / intensity of the swim or the event that you're doing. Also depends on how technically, or it depends on your technical ability as well. So the more you're breathing, the more potentially your body's moving around. So you might have to reduce the amount of breaths that you take. So let's go through each event. So say you're doing a sprint 50 freestyle.
Yeah.
Normally, you wouldn't take a breath, or you might take one breath.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep your body in that perfect position and just power through the water to the end for 20 to 25 seconds, for example. If you're doing a 1500 or an open water event, your breathing pattern is going to be totally different.
Yeah.
So you tell me, Marcus, what you think.
Your first answer was actually the right one. There is no one fit for everyone solution breathing pattern. I think you need to be able to breathe on both sides. You need to train to do both sides. First of all, to find the solution which works for yourself, and secondly, to define which is the easiest breathing pattern you can swim in the end. For that, I would say there is no. I mean, the common wording with coaches or people when they hear about breathing is that everyone tells them, oh, you need to do bilateral breathing, you need to breathe every third time. I think this is nonsense. I think it needs to, because it puts so much stress on the people who do it, who learn to swim, that they forget anything else, and it's counterproductive. It's not, it doesn't help. And there, for me, is the big issue about it. So, I in my opinion, what people should do is, again, first of all, breathing. The stroke doesn't evolve around breathing. First, you create the stroke, and the breathing pattern goes into your stroke. So, you need to fit in the breathing into your stroke, and not the other way around. Now, when it comes to breathing pattern itself, if you breathe every second time on 100 meter or on a 1500 meter or whatever, you need oxygen, and that is fine. The only thing which I say then, you need to have the body rotation needs to be equal on both sides. So there are two things. So one is the technique, the swimming technique, the freestyle technique, body rotation, and that needs to be equal on both sides, and the breathing needs to fit into that. And again, it doesn't matter how often you breathe. It needs to work for yourself. It needs to be most efficient for yourself.
So you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. Some of the things I would say is that for beginner swimmers, there's always an overemphasis on bilateral breathing, which is fine because, as you said, you need to learn which side you prefer to breathe on. Breathing bilaterally helps with your body alignment and helps with the balance throughout the stroke, which is good. But then as you start to get better, I quite often see triathletes and beginner swimmers that stress. They worry that they have to maintain a bilateral breathing pattern, but they don't have to. You can, if you prefer to breathe every 4 or, every other shot, whatever it is, to your preferred side, that's fine. You're not going to go around in circles. I think that's what some people worry, or they're going to build up one arm bigger than the other, or half their body, one side is going to grow and develop more than the other. That's not the case either.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say is, and what you've said there, you need to let the breathing kind of fit with your stroke. But definitely beginner swimmers and many triathletes over worry and over stress about breathing holding and maintaining a bilateral breathing pattern. You don't have to stress about that. It's good to start. It's good to practice. It's good to get the correct body alignment and the body position. But if you want to breathe one side, have a dominant side, then that's fine to do as well.
Yeah, but then I would stand like this. As I said, that I would leave like this. Again, as I said, for training purposes, that is the only thing which I would add, and that could conclude this thing. The only thing which I would say there is train various different breathing patterns, but for racing and for all the main sets of your technique for your session, do the one which is better for you, which comes easier to you, and just see to that you can do that, or like that you optimize that one instead of always worry, I should breathe every third time. For example, as I said, just a little anecdote today. This week I had someone asked me about swimming and if I could look at her technique in WhatsApp, and I saw her, and she was taught always to do bilateral breathing and to breathe every third time. And turns out, first of all, and they said, if you want to breathe every second time, breathe only to the right, because you're right-handed, you should do that. And turns out that she lies much more flatter in the water, breathing every second time and breathing to the left. And it came even easier. And funny enough, once we changed that, she was able to swim nicely, smoothly, and could think about the other things, continue to swim, think about what my arm does in the water and stuff like that. So it can be completely different to what people, or what the standard is, or what people say the standard is. You need to find it for yourself. It's very individual, I think.
I was going to say, I'm like that girl. I'm right-handed, and my preference is to breathe to my left. The other thing I was just going to say about breathing, you can integrate practicing these breathing patterns into your training. So you can do a length breathing every 5, a length breathing every 7, a length breathing every 11. Then you can also do breathing even numbers. So you can introduce that and integrate that into your training. One, that will help you learn what side is your dominant or preferred side for breathing, but also it helps you learn to breath control. And it helps you build your lung capacity as you are going through your training. So it's like the 2-for-1.
True. No, I agree with you. So I like that too. I like your point. So again, as I said, as we both say, it is to conclude this topic. Breathing pattern is very individual. Your body rotation and your technique needs to be equal on both sides, and you should not worry about what other people say. Find your own pattern and then pull through with that and optimize that in the end. Train the others, but stick to one thing. I think that we can conclude here. So as we are at the end of this call, thank you very much for your time, Alex, and until next time.